In today's video, we're going to walk you through call extensions versus call ads inside Google Ads and which you should use depending on the type of campaign you're looking to run, and just go into a bit more detail on the differences between each. So you can see here an example of a call ad where calling directly is the main call to action. So the whole purpose of, call only ads are to get you as many phone calls as possible, but you can see then that there is the option as a link to the website, but that is more so a secondary call to action. Whereas the primary call to action in each case is for them to call you directly. And so these ads are obviously great for any service where you're just looking to get as many phone calls as possible. And on the other hand, then your call extensions are different in the sense that they're not the main call to action in your ads, because they're part of regular search ads where the link to your website or your landing page is still the main call to action. But having a extension just allows them to also call you directly from the ad without them having to click onto your landing page. But is also still useful to have because, if you're looking to get phone calls, then it's great having the option for them to call directly without even having to click onto your website. And while these two types of ads just look very similar because, they're both call buttons to call directly at the end of the day, the main two differences really is that for call ads, for example, these ads can only be run on mobile phones, so you cannot run call only ads on desktop. Whereas with your regular search ads that have call extensions, those ads can be run on all devices, including tablets and desktop as well. And also with call ads, your main call to action is the phone button to call directly. Whereas with your call extension, as you see here, it isn't your main call to action, and the link at the top of the ad is for them still to go onto your landing page or website to see more information. But we still do have the option as a secondary call to action for them to call directly. Now, what's great about call only ads and call extensions is that your conversion tracking is very easy and simple to set up on both compared to setting up tracking on, your landing page, for example. And when it comes to setting up your conversion tracking, it's actually more or less the same process for both. And when you're in your conversion summary table, then you can create a new conversion action. And I'll show you this briefly because it's actually the new, updated method of setting up conversion tracking, which is only a brand new, recent update from Google on how we set up conversion actions. So it's in both cases, we're going to choose conversions from phone calls and then press continue. And in both cases as well, we press phone call lead. And both of these, since we have our call only ad and our call extension, both of these are calls from our ads because in neither case do we have to go onto our website to call. So it's call from ad, and we can set up this conversion action and ad settings, and we can call this whatever we like as well. We can call it, either call from call only ad or call from call extension, depending on the one that we're setting up. And then we usually don't use a value for this, as we treat all, phone calls equally. And for count, we choose one. And for call length, we typically go with 1 second because we want to collect data on all the phone calls that we get. And then we can just keep the click through conversion window and attribution the same. And then we just press done to set that up. And to simply make sure then that your conversion tracking is working, for the call extension, first of all, we go to assets and then call, because that's how we set up our call extension for our regular search ads. And we just press the blue plus icon here to actually add the call extension. And obviously, as well, we want to make sure we enter in the phone number that we want to have displayed on our ads. So that's what is displayed then below our ad. And for the conversion action, then all you have to do is select the conversion action that you just set up as we showed you. And then that's all you need to do to make sure that your conversion tracking is working for the call extension. And the exact same process can be applied to your call only ad as well. So if you follow the steps we use to just make that conversion action, under conversion action, then we can just select the conversion action that we just set up. And if you're using call only ads, then you're also tracking conversions accurately by setting up your conversion action and tracking the exact same way as we just did for call extensions. So now that we ran through, what call only ads versus call extensions are and how to make sure that we're tracking each of these, we just want to briefly walk through, in which cases does it make more sense to run either call extensions or call only ads. And there's obviously caveats to this, but what I would say is that for any service where you're offering something that it makes most sense for the person to just call directly, they don't need to go looking through a landing page for loads more information before making the decision to call. They just want to see that you offer what they're looking for, and that they can just call you right now to get a free quote. Then I'd recommend running call only ads for those types of services. So if you offer something that's like emergency related or repairs related and things that need to be done right now, then it makes sense to run call only ads for those type of services. But if you offer a service, for example, where the customer would need to know more information really before reaching out to get a quote a lot of the time, and a lot of the selling would be done on the landing page where they might want to learn more about what you offer, which is typically the case for more higher ticket services that aren't urgent. And a lot of the time they might be comparing different companies before reaching out. Then it might make more sense to just run responsive search ads or a regular search campaign with your call extensions attached, and that way then you still have your landing page as the main final URL where they can learn more, if they want to take that into consideration before reaching out for a quote. But at the same time, if they do want to just reach out to you directly, you have that option there with your call extension. Now, another similarity though that you can absolutely have in both cases is your landing page. And you might wonder as well about call only ads. I thought they were only for, people calling directly from the ad. But with the way Google Ads is going and they are veering more away from call only ads, but you still want to run call ads, where the phone call button is your main URL, then Google are most likely gonna require us to still have a final URL as another option if they want to click on the website to learn more. And you can still do that where we're still going to get the majority of our leads calling us from the ad directly, but we have a mobile landing page as well for them to also call us from there if they're interested in calling from there instead after they've had a read of, the more information. And obviously, if you're just running call extensions, then it is a requirement anyway that you have a final URL because the main call to action of the ad itself is to go to a landing page. But you obviously want to make sure that that's optimized for mobile as well. So for both call only ads and call extensions, you also want to make sure that you have a highly optimized mobile landing page with a nice clear call button at the very top of the page where they can call you directly once they've seen, from your headline and your social proof and so on, that you offer what they're looking for and that they can trust you based on the trust signals that you give them, including your reviews and so on. So your mobile landing page is another thing that, both of these call extensions and call ads, should both have in common. And another point worth mentioning as well, if you're trying to optimize for phone calls over any other type of lead as much as possible, then you should most likely, consider only running your ads during business hours when you know that you're going to be able to answer the phone, because we want to be able to answer all the phone calls that we're getting, or at least return the missed call within a few minutes if there is any missed calls. For this campaign, for example, we're actually running this campaign 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday. But in a lot of cases, it might make even more sense to just run the campaign 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. And I would only consider adding in, Saturdays and Sundays, for example, if you know that you're going to be available to answer the phone at all times, because we don't want to be getting missed phone calls that we don't return the call for until the next day or even a few hours later. Because if they're calling directly because they need the job done right now, then the chances are that they're just going to call another company if the phone call isn't returned, within even an hour a lot of the time on average, especially if it's something that they need done right away. Now, I hope this video helped and gave you more clarity when it comes to the similarities and differences between call only ads and call extensions, and also gave you a better idea on which would make most sense to use for your campaign depending on the service that you're running. And if you do have any questions about either of the two that we mentioned or anything else related to Google Ads in general, feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you do like this Google Ads related content as well, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video.